Have you ever wondered what would happen to you if you stopped eating sugar? Sugar consumption has never been higher than it is today. Take last year, for example. In 2023, we consumed 178 million tons of refined sugar. That's almost 44 trillion sugar cubes, which if laid out end-to-end would be enough to go all the way to the moon and back. Not just once, but more than 5,000 times. This is literally an astronomical amount of sugar, and it's only expected to increase year on year. Humanity's high consumption of sugar has led to an unusually high level of disease. Now, more people than ever are obese, type 2 diabetes is on the rise, cardiovascular disease is now more prevalent, and on the extreme side, cancer rates are at an all-time high, whilst occurring more frequently in younger people, to the point some national health bodies are having to offer cancer screening to younger ages than ever before. There are various scientific studies that show a link between a high sugar diet and cancer. So it's no surprise that so many of us are trying to cut out some, if not all, refined sugar from our diets. Science has shown that when we try to stop eating sugar, our brain activity is similar to the withdrawal symptoms of a drug addict, so it's not an easy journey. It's Chris here from Food Meets Science, and I'm going to talk about what really happens when you stop eating sugar. In the first 24 to 48 hours of cutting out refined sugars, one of the most immediate effects you'll notice is a craving for all things sweet and sugary. Every time we eat something high in sugar, it triggers the release of dopamine, which is a neurotransmitter associated with the pleasure center of the brain. When you cut out the sugar, dopamine levels suddenly drop, leading to strong cravings. The brain gives the same response to smokers who are trying to quit. But in the case of smoking, it's nicotine, which is the addictive substance. Most people then start to experience mood swings, which tend to be much worse in those who had a very high sugar diet to begin with. With the sudden reduction in dopamine, you're probably not going to be very nice to be around. Not long after the cravings, many people start to experience headaches, which can range from mild discomfort to severe migraines. When you consume sugar, your blood sugar levels spike, which signals your pancreas to produce insulin to help bring that sugar into cells, in particular, the cells in your brain which rely heavily on glucose to function. But when you stop eating sugar, your body struggles initially to regulate your blood sugar levels. Your brain has been used to a high amount of sugar for a long time, so it's always expecting that in the future. When you cut out sugar, your pancreas switches hormones and begins releasing glucagon instead of insulin. Glucagon promotes the breakdown of glycogen, which is a form of sugar stored in the liver. Initially, your body doesn't know how far to compensate for the loss in sugar because it's essentially in panic mode. Your brain reacts to this by becoming irritated, which leads to headaches. You'll then start to become tired and lethargic, with very little energy or motivation to do anything. Sugar provides a rapid source of energy. It's one of the quickest ways to give your body a boost, and when you cut it out, your body has to use other sources of energy, like the stored glycogen in the liver. But this takes time, so you'll feel rubbish until it learns to adjust. The only positive effect people have noticed in the first 48 hours is an improved sense of taste. Over time, high consumption of sugar dulls your taste buds, so cutting this out leads to increased sensitivity to taste, particularly natural sources of sugar in fruits and vegetables. 1 week into your sugar-free journey, the body starts to adjust to lower insulin spikes, and the glucose levels in the blood start to stabilize. This is accompanied by changes on a cellular level. Increased insulin sensitivity starts occurring in the actual cells of your body, making the cells more efficient at absorbing glucose from the bloodstream, even under low insulin levels due to your new sugar-free diet. This all means you'll have fewer sugar spikes and crashes throughout the day compared to the start of your journey. At the start of the first week, your energy levels will be quite low, so you'll feel lethargic. That's because the body is shifting from using the sugar you consumed before to breaking down fats and proteins for energy. This process is called gluconeogenesis. Over the first week, the mitochondria in your cells become more efficient at using different sources of energy, relying more on steady energy sources like fats. This has a positive effect on your liver as it processes any remaining fructose and begins reducing its fat stores, improving liver function, along with a reduction in systemic inflammation, which is evidenced in various research studies by lower levels of inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein, tumor necrosis factor, and fibrinogen. Most of the inflammatory markers are associated with systemic diseases, so by keeping your sugar intake low or cutting it out completely, you can drastically reduce your risk of disease. During weeks 2 to 4, the body starts to make various metabolic and hormonal adjustments. The microbiome of your gut begins to change as certain bacteria that thrive on sugar start to die out, improving gastrointestinal health and reducing bloating and indigestion. This allows beneficial bacteria to proliferate that prefer more complex carbohydrates and fibers found in healthier foods. They produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, propionate, and acetate, which are crucial for colon health and reducing inflammation, potentially reducing the risk of cancers and other diseases associated with the gut. The neurochemicals of the brain start to rebalance, and your cortisol levels normalize, slowly curing your addiction to sugar. You'll start to notice mood improvements and find you're not craving sweet foods as much. Along with this, the brain undergoes cognitive improvements, and you find more mental clarity as the body and the brain's energy supply become more stable and inflammation decreases. The cortisol and adrenaline levels that were raised when you started your sugar-free diet will now begin to normalize, along with improved thyroid function as systemic inflammation lowers, helping to regulate metabolism and energy levels. Towards the end of the first month, you'll likely experience weight loss, particularly the visceral fat around your abdomen, as your body turns to fat stores to provide glucose as opposed to sugar from your diet. The improved insulin sensitivity helps your muscles absorb glucose more efficiently for maintenance and repair rather than storing it as fat, leading to better gains in the gym and a more toned body appearance. You'll also notice a significant improvement in skin health as a reduction in sugar reduces the process of glycation, where sugar molecules damage and break down collagen and elastin, leading to clear, tighter, and more youthful-looking skin. Low systemic inflammation levels also lead to reductions in acne and other skin conditions made worse by a high sugar intake. When you've made it a month without consuming refined sugars, it's like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Your body has and will continue to improve, and your risk for cancers will fall due to the reduction of cell and DNA damage caused by a high sugar intake. Your blood sugar levels will remain stable, reducing the risk of type 2 diabetes. Bad cholesterol will decrease, whilst good cholesterol may increase, reducing your risk of cardiovascular disease. You'll start looking drastically better, and if you were obese to begin with, you'll notice a good amount of weight loss due to your new diet. For both men and women, sugar often disrupts various hormones in the body, not just insulin, but also sex hormones like estrogen and testosterone. And with the reduction of sugar in your diet, these hormones will stabilize, decreasing the risk of hormone-related disorders. You'll notice much clearer skin with the reduction of acne and more availability of collagen and elastin, but above all, you'll have an improved quality of life. People often report feeling healthier, more active, and much more in control of their health after eliminating or significantly reducing their sugar intake. And with that, we come to the end of our deep dive into what happens when you stop eating sugar. But the effects are amazing, from lowered cravings and stabilize energy levels to long-term changes that cut the risk of chronic diseases and better overall well-being. The impacts of cutting sugar from your diet are profound. Remember that every little step in the reduction of sugar brings us closer to a life that is healthier and more vivid. If this video has reached you and you feel more informed and inspired, then give it a thumbs up, share it with friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to get more useful content like this. Have you managed to reduce sugar in your diet? And if so, how did you go about it? We'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Thanks for watching and stay healthy.